The memorial gardens on Luna stretched endlessly beneath the Earth's blue glow, each crystalline marker representing one of the 100,000 souls lost when the Kethvar struck New Geneva. Captain Sarah Chen knelt before a cluster of markers, her fingers tracing the names of her sister's family, all gone in the span of 3 minutes when the alien warships opened fire on the civilian colony. "The hunt begins today," she whispered, standing as her comlink buzzed with the recall signal. Aboard the UES Retribution, Admiral Marcus Kane addressed the assembled fleet commanders via hologram. His weathered face bore the weight of humanity's first and most devastating contact with alien intelligence. Behind him, tactical displays showed the scattered positions of 12 Kethvar raider fleets across 3 star systems. 6 months ago, they came without warning, without communication, without mercy. Kane's voice carried across the bridge. They targeted our most vulnerable colony, families, children, researchers who had never held a weapon in their lives. They wanted to test our resolve by breaking our spirit. Captain Chen took her position at the command station of the heavy cruiser Vengeance. Around her, the bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency, their faces reflecting the same cold determination that had consumed humanity since that terrible day. "They learned the wrong lesson about us," Kane continued. "They saw mercy as weakness, compassion as vulnerability. Today they discover what we truly are when those we protect are threatened." The Kethvar had made a fatal miscalculation. Their reconnaissance probes had observed human settlements for months, witnessing acts of charity, diplomacy, and peaceful coexistence. They had seen humans rescue wounded animals, negotiate rather than fight, and turn the other cheek when insulted. In their predatory mindset, these were signs of a species ripe for exploitation. They hadn't bothered to study human history. "Task Force Alpha, you have the Kepler system," Kane ordered. "Beta takes Proxima. Gamma handles the outer rim territories. Remember, we're not just military vessels anymore. We represent every human being who looked up at the stars with hope instead of fear." Chen's ship dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler system, immediately detecting 3 Kethvar cruisers orbiting a mining station. They had converted into a forward base. The aliens had been busy, enslaving captured humans and forcing them to extract rare minerals under horrific conditions. "Tactical assessment," Chen commanded. 3 heavy cruisers, standard Kethvar configuration," her tactical officer reported. "They've modified the station's defensive grid. Estimated 400 human prisoners aboard. Then we do this surgically." Chen's voice was ice. "Helm attack pattern Delta 7. All batteries target their engine assemblies. We want them crippled, not destroyed, yet." The Vengeance swept in like an avenging angel, her weapons singing with deadly precision. Human military doctrine had evolved rapidly after New Geneva. Where once they had built ships for exploration and defense, they now crafted instruments of retribution. Every system was designed with one purpose: to hunt down and eliminate the Kethvar threat permanently. The first alien cruiser's engines erupted in plasma fire, sending it spinning helplessly. The second tried to flee but found its path blocked by 2 human destroyers that had been waiting in the system's asteroid field. The third, desperate and cornered, began charging weapons toward the prison station. "Negative," Chen said simply, and the Vengeance's main gun spoke once. The Kethvar ship simply ceased to exist. The rescue operation that followed revealed the true horror of Kethvar occupation. The aliens hadn't just enslaved humans. They had conducted experiments, testing pain thresholds, psychological breaking points, and biological limits. It was systematic torture disguised as research. But they had underestimated their subjects. Even under unimaginable conditions, the prisoners had organized resistance cells, gathered intelligence, and maintained hope that humanity would come for them. When Chen's Marines breached the station, they found humans who had never stopped fighting. "Captain," Dr. Elizabeth Morrison, the station's former administrator, approached Chen in the makeshift medical bay. Her left arm was gone, replaced by crude Kethvar cybernetics, but her eyes burned with unbroken defiance. "They kept asking us why humans don't just submit. They couldn't understand why we kept resisting even when resistance seemed hopeless." "What did you tell them?" Morrison smiled grimly. "I told them they'd find out soon enough." Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out as human task forces struck with coordinated precision. The Kethvar had expected their victims to plead for mercy, to negotiate, to offer tribute in exchange for survival. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy that had transformed overnight from peaceful explorers into the most efficient predators the galaxy had ever seen. The aliens' confusion was palpable in their intercepted communications. How had these weak, emotional creatures developed such devastating military technology so quickly? How had they learned to fight with such cold calculation while maintaining perfect discipline? Where were the desperate surrender offers they had expected? The answer lay in humanity's greatest strength, which the Kethavar had mistaken for weakness: their capacity for love. Every human ship carried the memory of New Geneva's children. Every weapon fired in honor of families destroyed. Every strategic victory was dedicated to the innocent lives stolen by alien arrogance. Admiral Kane's final transmission to the fleeing Kethavar remnants was broadcast across the galaxy. You chose to judge us by our kindness and mistook our mercy for helplessness. You saw our desire for peace as an inability to make war. This was your error, and it will be your last. We are coming for every single one of you. Not because we are monsters, but because we are human. We protect those who cannot protect themselves, and we avenge those who died under our watch. There is nowhere in this galaxy you can hide from the consequences of your choices. Captain Chen stood once more in the Luna Memorial Gardens, but this time she wasn't alone. Around her, survivors from the rescued stations placed new flowers among the crystal markers. The dead were gone, but they had not died in vain. Their sacrifice had awakened something in humanity that the galaxy was still learning to fear, and their enemies were learning to regret. The hunt was complete, the lesson delivered, and among the stars other species began to understand a fundamental truth about humans. Their greatest strength lay not in their capacity for violence, but in their willingness to become monsters to protect those they loved.